Okay, so this lab we're gonna learn how to create a view and manipulating them in Revit, and also how to create walkthroughs and sheets in Revit. And finally, we're gonna introduce how to create schedules of the takeoff, quantity takeoff, and how to export it in a CSV files. So first, we can create different views, like duplicate the views we have. But why do we need to do that? So for example, if you want to only show the dimensions of your views, you can do the duplication. And also if you want to only show a part of your models. So for example, as shown in the figure, you can see the two different views, which are achieved by duplicating. So you can duplicate your 3D view to show only one floor of your house. So the left one is your first floor, and the right one is your second floor. And in Revit, they have three different types of duplication. And let's switch to Revit to find out the differences. So we are in the L1 view. If you see the project browser, and if you right-click your view, you can see there is a duplicate view, and we have three different types of view. But let's try it one by one. So for the first one, duplicate. It will automatically generate a duplicate view and name it as copy one. And now we switch the windows, you can see difference. So in L1, we have some annotations here, but in L1 copy, there's no annotation. So if we use the first one, duplicate, it will only duplicate the elements. And what about the second one? Duplicate with detailing. So for this one, if you check the differences, there's no difference, right? Because it will duplicate all the elements and also along with all the annotations. And third one, dependent. So you will see it actually looks like the same with duplicate with detailing, right? So what's the difference between these two? So let's try something. If we do some changes in the original view, which is L1, for example, I do another annotation. So there's no annotation between 1 and 3, right? And now I add a new one. So in copy 1, nothing happened, still no annotation. And in copy 2, still the same as before, no changes. But for the dependent one, as the name, so it's dependent on the original one, so it will also have the changes added in L1. That's the main difference between the duplicate with detailing and also with the duplicate dependent. So as mentioned in the slide, the duplicate will only duplicate the model elements and will not duplicate anything in annotation. And also we can rename our views. So for example, copy 1, we rename it as L1 architecture. And L2 we used with detailing. And the dependent one, we can just leave it as it is. And I also list some specific differences here if you want to check. So like the difference in independence and also the use cases. And we mentioned one of the objectives of the duplicate view is to show part of your views. And how can we do that? So in Revit, we have a function called crop region. So let's use the L1 with detailing. We mentioned maybe we only want to show the dimensions in some part of our models. And in L1 with detailing, and if you look at your properties, you can find out there is a crop view and also crop region visible. If you only check this one, nothing gonna happen because it's invisible. So we also need to check the crop region visible. And still we cannot see anything change it. Now you need to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so let's see. If you zoom out, you can see there is a box here. And if you put your mouse on it, you can see it turns blue. And now we can click it. So it has four circles in every line, and you can use it to control the views. So for example, if I only want to show the dimension of my bedroom and bathroom, right? I don't want to show other part of the models. So I only want to show the this part, the dimensions maybe to your clients, to other people. And now you can make annotations. Maybe you want to show the dimension of your doors, right? But you don't want to include it in your original views. It's gonna be a mess if you include too many annotations. So we can do it in the duplicate views, and nothing gonna change in your original views. Okay. And also for the duplicate view, we can create callout, or you can just use your original views to do it. This one allows you to show your models in a greater detail and also with a larger scale. So to issue this comment, we can go to View tab here. There's a callout, so rectangular or sketch. It's just different ways to draw the scope. So for example, we choose rectangular, and now we can draw the shape we want. So for example, I want to see this part. And now you can see you can double click it, and you can edit the areas. Also, if you right click it, there is a go to view. So you can see it's L1 quad 1. And also you can find it in your project browser, L1 quad 1. And also in Revit, we can control the visibility for different elements. So this is kind of the function I really like because it's really convenient for you to see things. So for example, in 3D view, we mentioned in our last lab, if you want to see the stairs, you can use this action box to cut your house. But also there's an easier way to do that. So if you tap V twice in your keyboard, so as I mentioned here, or you can go to view and choose the visibility graphics. And there's gonna be this window pop up. And you can check the check the visibility of your elements. So to make this more easy to see, do you have different categories here? You usually would only use the model categories, okay? So for example, I want to make my wall invisible. You can go down and choose the wall here and uncheck it, right? And click apply. Now your walls is invisible now, right? And you can change it back, just use the same command. And another function, so still in this window, apply and okay, you can see how different attributes here, lines, patterns, transparency. So it's better to use transparency sometimes. So for example, I want to change the transparency of my roof. We can locate roofs and transparency and click the override. And you can just drag this bar here and you can drag anywhere you like here and click apply, click OK. And now you can see the transparency of the roof changed. It's very convenient if you when you want to check something, but you want to like delete it or hide it. So this function is available for every views. So we did it in the 3D view, but also if you go to your elevations view, you can also do the same thing for your elevation views. So for example, still tap VV, or if you go to view, visibility graphics, it's the same. And you can see, okay, let's check the roof. So you can see nothing happens here, right? Even though we changed the transparency for roof, because this is only for one view. I only changed the transparency for the 3D view, but it will not affect the view in your other views. So for example, if I uncheck the wall here and apply, click OK, so the wall is invisible now. But in 3D, you can still see it because it doesn't affect your other views. Yeah, we'll mention this. And another thing it's really common to use is this little glasses here. So for example, sometimes we all know it's really hard to choose your lab sometimes, right? Your floor sometimes. So maybe you can hide your walls temporarily. So if you choose the object you want to hide, and then click this little glasses here, and see hide element. And now it's just temporarily hide. Now it will be more easier for you to choose your floor, right? And if you want to reset it, you can just use the same icon here and click reset. You can also create elevation views. So if you create a new project, you're gonna see these four little things here, right? It's our elevation views. So for example, if we go to L1, there's four things. If you just select it, you can see the multifamily issue selected. And if you only choose the scale here, in the properties, you can see what it is. It is a building elevation. Right? So you have two parts, this part and also this triangle part. And if you click this part, you can see the different checkboxes. This means your directions. So for example, if I click this one, check this one. So pay attention to the elevations here. Now we only have 4 elevations, right? If we check this, we're gonna have elevation 4C because we checked this direction. And if you cancel the check, it will remind you, okay, gonna be deleted. So sometimes if you accidentally like delete it, it's gonna warn you, it's gonna be a warning, the north will be deleted. So do not do that. But if you just accidentally delete, like you cannot find your north in the most situations because you delete your elevations. But it's okay, we can recreate it. So in the view, if you go to here, there's elevation. And after you choose it, you can see the properties. We have building elevations and interior elevation. And we choose building elevation. And now you see the same thing here. And we just need to change the direction, face to the north. And rename it. So this is solution if you accidentally delete your elevation views. And just keep in mind, we cannot create a elevations in 3D view. You can only create elevations in floor plan view. And as you saw before, besides the elevation view, we also have a interior elevation. So what's this? It's basically similar things. So if you go to L1 and still view elevation in the properties, now we choose interior elevation. Now you can see this kind of mark. So for example, I want to see the outside of your wall of my here. So after we create this view, you can see in the project browser, we have another tab here, elevations. This is our view. So it basically create a view in the direction you put it. So we put it here. This looks like our eyes. So we see from this direction, and in the views, it will show the view of that direction. Okay. And also, if you click this circle here, you can see the blue line. This one I'm gonna change the view range, like the width of your view, and it's gonna change the view depth. So we can see difference here. Let's see. Okay. So if we choose this circle here, choose the head. And you can see there's boxes here also. See, if I move the Y's of these lines, it will have different view range, as well as this depth. If I put it in front of the doors, it cannot see the doors. Okay, it can only see the range where you drag it. Now you can see the doors, now you can't. This is useful when you want to try to have some different details of your models in the views. Also, you can use it to show your living room. So in L2, we have our living room. Maybe you put it somewhere else. It's okay. Doesn't matter. As long as you create a interior view here. So elevation, interior. If you cannot automatically sorry, direct to your living room, you can just put it here and then change it. When you choose this circle here, so face to our living room. And now you can see the range is super small. We can change it. So click this head. I only want to see the living room. Here we go. Now I have a view of my living room from the west. So we can rename it. We can also let it see the windows. So except for the interior view, we can also create sections. So still L1 and still in the view tab, you can see section, building section. So for example, I want to see the section of my stairs. So now this area means the direction, right? But I want to see from right to left to see my stairs. So I can click it and flip it. And now it's the direction is from right to the left. And also it has similar attributes. It has the arrow, the depth, also the width of your view. And after you create the section, you can see another tab here, sections, section 1, right? And now we can see stairs. So we can also adjust the range, not too much. I don't want to see the windows. I only want to see stairs. Alright, so we have a section of our stairs. You can also change the view here, but it doesn't really matter. And also we can rename the view. Just make sure we don't get confused if we have so many views. So section, this is for our stairs. And then we introduced the section box in the last lab, and it has more functions. So for example, in 3D, we have section box. In the properties, we can check section box. And when you put your mouse on it, when it turns blue, you can choose it. And then right click it. You can see room enlarging, room to fit, hiding views. And we can also see the oriented views. And for example, we want to check the only floor plan 1. And now we got it. Right, so right click this cube here, orient to view floor plans, or if I want to see floor plan L2, and then you got the exactly the floor plan view L2, your second floor. So this is a non-useful function. We want to show only a part of view models. I also put some differences between the interior elevation and also the sections because that looks really similar to each other, and you can check the differences. So basically, in the assignment, you need to create a section for your stairs. I know some of you didn't put your stairs in the same place as I did, so you can put the section anywhere that I can see your stairs. Okay. Just make sure you rename it as a section stair. And also make sure we can see the full of the stairs in your view. And next is a very interesting thing. We can do the visualization in Revit. So I'm gonna show the final results. So this is an animation we can create in Revit. And let's see how can we do that. So it called walkthrough in Revit, right? Let's go to your one. So still view tab, we can see there's a 3D view here. And if we choose it, there's a drop down menu, and we choose walkthrough. And now you can see we're in the status of doing the walkthrough now. So now we need to put the like choose a start point, which is our first camera. So for example, I want to look from here first. And so this is our first point. And then we choose the point of our path. So for example, second is here, third one, the fourth one, maybe another one here, another one here, okay? And you can click escape on your keyboard. So now we have the path of our walkthrough. As shown in the figure, each the red circle is one camera, which means it's one keyframe. So you can put the path as you preferred. And now you can see another tab generated. It's walkthroughs. And if we click it, so this view shows the final camera, the view of the final camera. And let's choose this view. If you click, move your mouse into the box and click it, and we'll choose Edit Walkthrough. And now go back to L1. You can see the red circle here. And this is our final camera, right? This is what we see in this view because it's from the final camera. And now we want to go to the first one to adjust the location, the view range of our camera. So either we can go previous keyframe. You can see the movement of your camera here. Every time you click it, you can move your camera to here, right? It's one keyframe. And now we'll achieve the frame 1, which is our first camera. And now this is a direction, okay? This is the direction we see from the camera. But we want to see our house, right? So we need to change it first to our house. And this is the view depth. So we finish the direction of the first one. We click next keyframe. The second camera, do the same thing. Make it face to your building. And third one, face to your building. And also your doors to make it reasonable, okay. And next frame, I want to go this direction. And finally, maybe look at the stairs. So this is what we did. Just pay attention to click the next keyframe instead of the next frame, okay? And now if we go back to our walkthrough view, this one, we clicked before. And now if we hit the play, let's change it to shaded. Because we're from the final camera, we come from the final camera, we can go back. Previous keyframe, or you can just tap here, frame 1. And this is our first camera. And I will click play. So you can see the results, and you can adjust based on your results. So for example, I think this camera is too close. Also this one. And if you click anywhere else, it will ask you, do you want to quit editing the walkthrough? It's okay if you quit it. because you can always go back to your walkthrough view and click the box and go back to edited. And if you want to play it, you must in the editing, and then you can play it. Also, you can change the, you need to see this. You can change the range from here. If we go back, play, and quit. So we can also export this video animation to a EVI file. So make sure you are in the walkthrough view and go to File, Export, Images and Animations, and you can see the walkthrough. You can just use the default parameters and click OK, and you're gonna export to the location you want to save. So this is also one part of your assignment. You need to create a walkthrough animation. You can choose any path based on your preference. Make sure your buildings is always in the view. And then you have to export the walkthrough animations. And next, we can use the 3D models to create our 2D drawings. So in the sheet here, we can create a new sheet. But now you can see we only have one title blocks. And we cannot load anything from here because nothing is here. But we can load the sheet title block from the Autodesk library. So still insert, load Autodesk family, and make sure you're in Imperial. And go down, go all the way down, and find the title blocks. And we choose the 2020, 22 by 34, and click load. And now we click create new sheet, and you can see the sheet you just loaded. And we click OK. So now we have a empty sheet here. And we can just create the drawings by dragging all the views, like the view you want. So in the assignment, we want you to drag your L1 architecture. So just put a mouse here and keep pressing the left and drag it and put it here. And if this is too, like this area is too large, like it doesn't fit in the models, we can go back to our architecture view and crop view, crop range visible, and modify it. and then go back to this. Now it looks like better. We also can move this title here. If I just click it and then move it, and you can just uncheck this too. In the assignment, we want you to create a L1 architecture. So we already did this before. Major style, hidden lines. So we go back to L1 architecture, change it to hidden line. Okay. And I'll also set the scale. So we mentioned we can set different scale for your duplicate views. Here we want to 1/4. Here we go. Is this correct? Yes. Okay. So we should do this before we create the sheet, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it matters. Now we need to readjust the views because we changed the scale. Okay, let's do it again. Incorporate view, visible, and make sure it's nicely put. Go back to here, move it here, click this, move it here. All right, and go back. Disappear, disappear. Yep. Now it's nicely being put here. And we can rename the sheet. So what's the name we want? A101 and architectural floor plan. So we can just click rename. The number is already A101. But just put in name architectural floor plans and click OK. And ask to repeat the same procedures for your two. So do the same thing. Let's create a duplicate and rename it L2 architecture. And it's already had the line and change the scale to 1/4. Create a new sheet. Use this one, D, and drag our view here. Need to do something with the grab range. This is a little too long, but it's alright. It seems like we cannot change the length. It's alright. And rename it. Now we got the sheet for L2. This is our L1. This is our L2. So you have two sheets in your assignment, looks like this. And finally, we're gonna do the schedules for quantity takeoff. So for example, we have the schedule for your doors, walls. Let's close these views. Okay, so for the schedules, in the view, you can go to here to see schedules, schedule and quantities, or you can go to your project browser and see here above the sheets, you can see schedule and quantities, and you can click new quantity or new schedule. So you're gonna pop up the same windows. And we only want architectures. So if you have all these things selected, unselected them, just choose the architecture one. And under the architecture, we have different category. So we want to choose the windows. And you can also see the name is corresponding to the category you choose. Wall schedule, window schedule. And then we want to create the window schedule. And now click OK. It will pop up another window named Schedule Properties, and you have all the fields like the family type, level, and also the silhouette of your windows, also the different dimensions, count, and cost. So you can put your field into the right side box using this button or remove them. And also we will have a multiply. I just randomly put, you don't need to follow me in the step. You can move it to the above and move it down using this little button here. And when we click OK, we're gonna have different things. So let's try. So we have an exercise which is gonna be included in your assignment. So let's follow this exercise to demonstrate the different functions. So we already have the windows, and it asks us to choose family and type. So family and type, level, height, wise, silhouette, count, and also cost. So now we have all the fields here, and we click OK. So now you can see there's a schedule generated. And in the properties, you can see all the functions here. Fields, you can still edit it. And also filter. So for example, you can filter by level. You only want the windows in, let's say, equal to. We only want to count the windows in L1. So we choose L1 equal to L1. And you can see we only have the windows in L1. For example, if we don't have anything, we also got the windows from L2. So change the level equal to L1. Okay. And we have the name of our windows. And now we want to input the cost. So we can just click here and input as 199.99. And it will ask you if you want to change all the cost for the same type. Just choose OK. Because they are all the same type, so they're gonna have the same cost. And still in this properties, we have like sorting and grouping. So we can choose sort by family and type, and just leave this as default. You can also choose header on and turn off the randomize every instance. And turn on the grand totals and choose totals only. And then click OK. And you can see the changes here. So we have a header here and also the count, only the total count of your windows. So this covers all the 5 steps. And we also want to get the total cost, which is a new field. So we go to the field here, and we use this function, add calculate parameter. So click it. So the field name we want to add is total cost. And the formula, do not type by yourself. And we use this here, the 3 dots here, and we choose cost. So please do not type by yourself, instead choose from here. Only choose once. And then we click OK. So this is what it's saying here. And now to do the calculation, we need to do a little more step. So still here, go to formatting. And we choose the total cost field. So we want to do a calculation, right? So in here, there's no calculation. And we choose calculate totals. And because we calculate its money, so we can change the unit. So turns off units, currency, and symbol we can choose dollars. And use Egypt grouping and click OK. And OK. And ta-da, you can see the total cost. So in the exercise, also the assignment, it asks you to do more the modifications just to allow you to try different functions for this schedule. So for example, it asks us to change the header of count to QTY, which is quantity takeoff. So you can just click here and type QTY. and change the cost to unit cost. So this looks like redundant, so we can just turn it off. So go to sorting and grouping and turn off the header and click OK. So now it disappeared. And I also ask to group the 3 columns. So you click here, hold it here, and hold your mouse and choose all of them. And you can see there's a group here. Click it. And now there's a new row. You can type dimensions. Also, we can change the alignment for different column. So now it's all left, right? The alignment is left, left, left. We can change it. So if we go to the appearance, formatting, see the alignment is all left, and what we want is to choose all the column. You can use Shift and accept the family type. Choose all the things except the family type and set the alignment to center. Okay, you can pay attention to this to here and you can see the changes. So let's click OK. And now they are in center. And still go to appearance, ask us to turn on grid in headers and turn off like row before data. So turn on this, turn off this, and click OK. Looks nicer. And finally, so click the edge, and then you can choose all the whole column, and then the shading, choose a yellow shading. It doesn't matter if you choose this one or this one, okay? And now it will shade it. This covers all the steps here. And finally, we can also put all the quantity takeoff into a sheet. Like in our case, we only have one, like window schedule. But in projects, you may need to put all the schedule in one sheet, like your door schedule, wall schedule, and window schedule. So we can still go to sheet, new sheet, use the same sheet we used before. And just drag our window schedule here. So it's a little small compared to the sheet. You can just zoom in and see it. And let's rename this sheet so that we can recognize it. So this is our window schedule. And also we can export this schedule to a CSV file. So similar way when you export the animation. So make sure you are in this view and go to File and Export. It's under the images and animation report. We cannot export it because we are not in the correct view. So we need to go to the window schedule and then go to export, report, and now we can export our schedule. You can choose anywhere you like, click save, and it will ask you to choose some parameter settings. You can just leave that as default and you can click OK. But this is not required in your assignment. You don't need to upload your CSV or you don't have to export it as a CSV. So in your assignment, you need to include the interior elevation we introduced. You can put it anywhere you like. And also a section but specific for the stairs. And make sure the visual style is headline and rename it as section stair. And also a walkthrough video. And the two sheets we create for the L1 and L2. And finally, the schedule and also the sheet we create in exercise 4.4. So here. And there's no need to export to a CSV file. So in the E-class, you need to upload your RVT file and also your walkthrough video. And because the file size constraint, so you will need to upload your video to Google Drive. So when you can just drag your video to Google Drive and then right click to go to the share and choose anyone with the link and copy this link and submit in the class. So in the class, it's gonna be a box called online test. So just copy your link and put it here and then submit your Revit file. So that's the content for this lab. And if you have any questions, I'll be during the lab. You can just ask me. Thank you.